Hi everyone. Hi everyone. My name is Branzi Lawrence, and we're going to be working on how to develop our emotional intelligence today. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes to allow other people come in. So while we wait, if we can all introduce ourselves, that would be great. Okay, we'll give it another minute and then we'll hit the road running. So when you hear the word emotional intelligence, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotion and those of the people around you. There are five key elements to emotional intelligence. You have the self awareness, you have the self regulation, you have motivation, empathy, and social skills. But for this section today, we're going to be covering the self awareness. Although over the next 5 weeks, we would be covering every single one of them. But for today, we're going to focus on self awareness. What is self awareness? How do you become self aware? What are the things that you can do that would help you develop your self awareness? Before we do that, let's look at the basic 8 emotions. The basic 8 emotion, your joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, anticipation. All of these are part of the part of the eight basic of part of the 8 basic emotions. Now, self-awareness, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. How do you know you're self-aware? Being self-aware means knowing your strength and your weaknesses. It means behaving with humility. But just to give you a bit of what being self-aware means, it said self-awareness is the ability to recognize one's emotions and thoughts and their influence on behaviors. These include accurately assessing one's strength and limitation and progressing a well-grounded sense of confidence and autism. Now, there are 3 ways to identify your strengths and weaknesses. We're going to run through the 3 ways to do that. We will start with the first one. There are some that we're going to be able to do together here today. And then there are others that you would go away, take on, and do within the course of the week. So when we come back here uh, next week, we're able to recap and see how we have been practicing and trying to understand how self aware we are. So we're going to first of all talk about our strengths and our weaknesses. Our strengths, in order for us to be able to identify our strengths, I will need you guys to have a notepad if you have it with you, or something that you can type on so we can begin to identify what our strengths are. Our strengths, what are you good at? What exactly? Ask yourself the question, what am I good at? What's the one thing that I do so well that I'm great at? What have other people complimented me about? What are the things that other people think, oh, I'm great at this? Or things that other people look at you and go, oh, Benedita, you did that so well. Or Sonia, you did that so well. What is that thing? As a teacher, what's the thing that when you go into your classroom while you're teaching, or among your colleagues, that they go, oh, you teach maths very well? Is it maths you're very good at? Is it English? Is it how you interact with your students? Is it how you are able to listen to their problems when they have them? What exactly is that one thing that you do without a sweat? Something that you spend so much time and even realizing that you spend that much time on thing that no, even though it's challenging, but you still enjoy doing it? What are these things? Which project or task seems to drain your energy? Obviously, that wouldn't be part of your energy, but wouldn't be part of your strength. What's that project or that subject that you spend hours working on? What's that subject that you can teach? You teach this class, you're able to teach the next class, you're able to discuss it. Even when outside the school walls, you're able to have interaction with your friends or your colleagues about it without getting tired. What subject is that? What hobbies are you good at? What are the hobbies that you like? What are the things outside your professional career now that you enjoy doing? Is it skydiving? Is it bowling? Is it playing soccer? Even for some, what is that thing that you're good at? So what I want you guys to do is make a list of the 5 top things that that I am good at. That I am, for example, for me, I'd say I'm a good communicator, I'm a good negotiator, I'm a good listener. What are yours? I'm a good project manager. What are you good at? What's that thing that that even if they wake you up from sleep today to ask you to do, that you can confidently and comfortably do it? So, guys, let us know when you have your 5 lists done. Okay. Are you good at running? Are your hobbies singing? Are you a great singer? Do you play instruments? Do you paint? Do you draw? What are these things that you're good at? Are you good at discovering new things or new ways to teach, especially with the COVID going on now? Have you found a new way to teach the students now that schools are not open? Are you good at technical skills? Can you operate a computer, or can you do a lecture? Are you good at PowerPoint presentation? Are you able to put a presentation together that you can now use in teaching your student from home? Is that something you're good at, or is it something that you've not tried? So now that we've done our strengths, not that we've been able to write the 5 or the 3 to 5 or maybe even more strength that we have, let's look at our weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? So weakness, when people talk about weakness, it does not necessarily mean weakness is not even a bad thing. Not knowing that these are your weakness, not knowing what your limitations are, is the bad thing. Because when you know what your limitations are, you half of the problem is solved, because you now know that these are things that I'm not great at. These are things that I cannot do at the moment. These are your weaknesses. What are you not good at? What have you had other people help you in more than one occasions on? Things that you're not interested, you don't think you can do it. Put these things down. What are your weaknesses? What projects or subjects, and tasks that seem to drain your energy, something that you're doing and you're not really making headway with it. You have to do it anyway. It's really draining. You're spending more than, the normal time to get it done. It's really frustrating for you. What are those things? What are the things that other people like doing that you don't? There might be areas where you see, okay, this person likes singing, I don't like singing. Is it that you don't like it because you've not tried it? Why don't you like it? Is it that you don't like it because you've not tried it, or you just don't want to try it? Because sometimes in life, when we think that, oh, this is our weakness, it may not necessarily be that it's our weaknesses. It may also mean that we've not tried these things, because if you don't try something, then you don't know. So again, let's make a list of 3 to 5 things or a bit more of the things that we think is our weaknesses. So I'm sure that now that we've made those lists, you have made a list based on your own list. Now you've evaluated yourself. You've made a list of the 5 top things or more that you're good at, and you've also made a list of the 5 or more things that you are not good at, which is your weaknesses. Things that you're good at are your strengths, and the ones that you're not good at are your weaknesses. Now, in order for us to continue to really know if these are the things that we're good at, because most of us are our biggest critic. For me, I critique myself a lot, so I'm sure that there's many other grinds out there in the world, especially among you teachers, who are saying, I could be better at this. We criticize ourselves a lot about things. So in order for us to further research or further examine what our strengths and our weakness are, next thing that you have to do is to talk to the people that you trust. So here's your first assignment for today. Have a conversation. Who are the top 3 to 5 people whose opinion matters to you? People that you trust their opinion, people that you genuinely know first, that they mean you well. You've known them for the last 3 to 5 years, or you've known them all your lives, like your parents maybe, or your spouse, for those of you that are married. That persons or those people that we know, that within you, that if I ask this person things about me, they would be honest. It could be brutal, but they would be honest with me. It could be, again, when you're going to meet these people, you have to make sure that you give them a context on why you're asking for their opinion. So for teachers, with the COVID that had happened now, the coronavirus era that had hit us now, that we were not prepared for, there is a huge chances that everything is going to change, or most things are already changing anyway. So classroom might not, when we go back to schools now, teaching might not be what it used to be, because everything we know now, we have to now question. There are things that would not be relevant anymore going forward, and then there are new things now that we now have to adapt. So for some of us, it might be that we are not looking at what are the better ways to be a better teacher. How do I now develop myself now? Now that we have to be, potentially taking online classes, which is already happening globally now, how do I fuse into that? So if that is where your direction is at, that I want to now start to teach people online, I want to take extra teaching activities to earn more money, to save, or I want to look into even writing an academic book, a school book, a new book. Pick a topic, whether it's social studies, whether it's entrepreneurship, or anything at all. If that's what you're looking to do, make sure that you're able to tell whoever you're asking these questions. In order for you to get an efficient or an effective answer, you must be able to at least give them a scope as to why you're asking these questions. So I'd expect you guys to, go back with this after this class and ask these people, whether your spouse, your mother, your colleague, that person, those people that you trust, ask them what they think you're good at, and ask them what they also think that you're not so good at. So when you've done that, you're still gathering the information. Now you now know what you think your strengths are and what you think your weaknesses are. By asking these people, they've also now given you a different perspective, their own opinion of you. It's like asking for a third eye. These are people who have watched you grow or who have known you for many years, and they are honest. You trust their judgment. They've given judgment in the past that had worked quite well for you or other people around you. These are the people that you ask. Now they are now telling you who they think or who they know that you are. When you're done with that, the third thing to do is to try new things. Because the problem with identifying what our strengths and weaknesses are is that we lack the experience. So most times you say, oh, they ask you, it's a very common thing when someone asks you, oh, are you good at teaching English? You go, no, I'm a math teacher. But the question is, have you tried to teach English? Or are you good at entrepreneurship studies? Oh no, I'm a biology teacher. But have you tried? So because if you don't try, you don't know. Or are you good at online tutoring? No, I'm not. Have you tried? You see, because when you don't try these things, you're never going to know whether or not you're good. It's only when you try these things and see what you like and see what you don't like. And surprisingly, when we try new things, we see how brilliant we actually are at them. Because if you don't try, you're not gonna know. You would never know that you're actually good at things like that. Because I'll give you an example of myself. I used to think that I wouldn't be able to advise people on what to do, like, cancel people or interact, support people when they ask questions or give them, because I always think, okay, well, even if I know this, it might not work for the next person's situation. So every time people come and say, oh, I think you should be, helping people develop their skills or counseling them, I go, oh, no, I don't have experience in it. I don't think I can do it. I kept pushing it away. I kept pushing it away until at a point, a mentor said, but have you tried? And I'm like, I've actually not tried this out. And he said, yeah, go try it out. Until you try, you are depriving yourself from unlocking your other skills that you have. You are limiting yourself from knowing or fully developing or growing to your full potential. So the third thing that you're gonna do is to try, because when I tried, I realized that I was actually brilliant at it. I was not just good, but I was actually brilliant at helping people develop their skills, at helping people grow. So you're gonna also do the same thing that I did. I'm challenging you now to go try new things within the week. From a creative experiences, try painting. You might just have it in you. Try painting, try drawing, because if you know how to paint and draw, you can now take extra classes outside your school where you're teaching, external students or even fellow teachers or even adult students on how to, paint and draw. Dancing. Have you gone dancing? Go try dancing. Try and check if there are dancing classes around you or even online YouTube. There are dancing lessons on YouTube for beginners. Try it out and see, or go to a social event, dance to music and see how you feel. You may like it, you may not, but what have you got to lose anyways? Singing. Start from your bathroom, learn how to sing, go to singing classes, maybe train your voice if it's something you want to try, or better still, do karaoke nights, hang out with your friends, go for karaoke nights, socialize, and see if singing is something that you might just be good at. Video. Now we all have mobile phones. With our mobile phones, we can shoot videos, we can make a whole lot of fantastic creative videos. So have you explored that phone that you're using? Because the biggest problem that we have sometimes in life is we don't try, we don't read. And I can tell you that the phone that you're carrying now, when you probably bought it, you didn't read the manual. How many of us read the manual of our phones? You know, maybe just 1% of us, maybe a little bit more, but most of us, the large majority of us, did not. We didn't. We didn't read the manual. So the fact that you didn't read the manual means that you're not even using up to 30 to 40% of the full potential of that phone. So you would not know now that, oh, the video quality might be fantastic. There are ways that can actually record, create a short 5 to 10 minutes video, edit it and see how I feel. And that video might just be on how to, your online teaching class that you might be considering starting now, that we're trying to try new things. You can also now pre-video it, with your smartphone and edit it and play it back and see if it's something that you like. Stand-up comedy. Some of us are very funny, but we don't know that we can actually make money out of it. So are you that one person that when you're among your friends, you make them laugh? If that's who you are, have you gone to bars or gathering, where they do comedy shows, stand-up comedy? If you haven't, try it. What's the worst that can happen? Well, you can go to an area that you're not very familiar with, so not very many people know you. Tell a few of your friends to show up so they can support you, and just try a 5-minute stand-up comedy and see how you feel. There's no harm in trying. If you do it, you don't like it, then don't, then we know that that's not something you like. Cooking. Now you can literally learn how to cook anything and everything. Thank God for YouTube. Go on YouTube, try that meal that you go to restaurant and spend so much money on. Is it Chinese fried rice, or is it Moroccan food, Asian food, Thai food, even some African cuisine that you don't know how to do? Is it Sima from Malawi, or is it Kenke? Is that what it's called? Yeah, from Ghana, or is it Amalane from Nigeria? Just if you can't do it, go online, see how they cook them. The Nigerian party jollof rice, or the Ghanaian party jollof rice, or mashed potato from Ireland, or shepherd's pie. Just Google it, try online and see green curry, see how you do. Because if you can learn how to do it from YouTube and you actually enjoy the process, that's another side hustle for you. That's another side business for you, because now you can actually now start to have a you cooking kitchen where people order meal from you online, and it might just be the next thing that you're headed into. Because now you've tried it, you know how to cook. If you enjoy it, then you can take few other lessons, and that's a new business for you. you know that's from the creative side of things. Technical experiences. Okay, so again, website development, that's something that you can look at. Are you a technical person? Do you like to figure things out? If you like to figure things out, you can look into building website, website development, or even graphic design, something as simple as graphic design. So have you, if you see pictures, and if you are the type that when you see a website, or when you see newspapers or magazine, or even a poster, that you're able to go, oh, this color should have been moved this way, or this could have been, done the other way, or, oh, I would have preferred it this way. It means first and foremost that you have interest, you have the eye for something, you are creative. And if that's who you are, go on YouTube. You would see pre-made templates for websites. You see pre-made templates for posters, magazine, flyers. And then Adobe Photoshop is a good one to learn from. And I'm sure that there are other software, InDesign, and the rest that you can learn online. I'm sure there are free classes. YouTube would give you everything and anything that you're looking for. Just Google it, and then take the coding classes with Coderina as well. That would help. They are teaching people how to code now, and that might just help if you're interested in website development. Try it out, see if you like it. And if you don't like it, we'll discuss it next week. We will see what you like and what you don't like, And then we'll look at investment, your financial experiences, investment. Are you good at investment? With the whole pandemic that had happened now, some of us are now broke. We don't have any money because our salaries, when they came, we just knew that we'd expect them every month. So as a result of that, we literally were just spending. Maybe we had other side businesses that we did that we were using to support it, so everything seemed fine. But now, with the whole country or the whole continent nearly on lockdown, Trav, it is now the reality check has hit us with, oh my God, I only have S amount of money. These other businesses or these other avenues that I normally would get money from, I no longer get money from it. I only have this. And now most of us may have run out of money. And the reason is because we probably don't know how to invest. And the reason why most of us don't invest is because we always think when you hear investment, people just assume it's huge money. You have to have a lot of money in order for you to be able to invest. No, you can actually invest as little as even $5 on stock or something. You just have to check. Again, Google is your best friend. Check what's out there, what investment opportunities are out there within your neighborhood. See who's doing small scale business that needs, it could be 20,000 naira, it could even be less, it could be more, it could be 50. See those people that are doing day-to-day thing, because anything that you sell every day, somehow you would always, be able to generate income or profit from it. So look at these sort of things, small scale businesses, medium scale for those that have a lot of money, or look online, see what are the businesses out there, investment opportunities that are out there, and then invest. Try, because if you don't try, you don't know. But the good thing with investing is eventually the investment that you make, for those people who have been investing, I'm sure now that with this pandemic happening, they have something now to fall back to because they have invested. You know, another thing in the financial experiences is how do you manage your finances? You know, your own finance, your personal budget. Do you make a daily, a weekly, or a monthly budget? Have you got a budget? How do you spend your money? What do you spend it on? What are relevant, so it's really keeping a diary, just doing your weekly, but start from weekly budget. You can download that templates, budgeting, monthly or weekly budgeting templates online on Google. Download them, follow it, try it out, say, okay, I've got 10,000 or 5,000 or 20,000, whatever amount of money you have. Now this is what I have. Okay, if your salary, for example, if your salary is say 20,000, okay, I receive 20,000, I have to save 10 to 15% or 20% of my income. Save it or put it towards investment. So the other 80% of my income, how do I manage it? So that I am still living comfortably and being able to meet up with my basic needs and a little bit more. So when you put these things on paper, it makes sense. And because you have guidelines, it then keep you in check as to, should I spend my money on this or should I not spend my money on this? And as you begin to put these things in practice, you see that you are slowly building your financial independence. You are able to now manage your finances. You are not running out of money before your next salary comes. Because some of us, we live with pay in, pay out. So when the salary comes in fact, before our salary comes in, we've spent the money already because we've bought this thing that we want or the other thing that we want but may not necessarily need. But when you have a budget in place, it gets you to start to think of what I want versus what I need. So when you've put down all your needs, you've done your budget according to what you need. When you now see what you want, you already know that the monies you have had been budgeted for something else. You're not going to now go spend the money on the money that you've reserved for what you need, for what you want. Now, the athletics exercise, we all know that keeping fit is a new life. You have to be healthy. You have to be able to, exercise. It's good for your brain. It's good for your thinking. It's good for your growth. It makes you physically fit. When you're physically fit, you're happy. And for teachers as well, nothing beats that early morning jogging or, that 10 minutes workout routine that you do before you go to class. Because when you do it, you'll be energized. You'll be so surprised on how much energy you have. And when you have that energy and bring it into your classroom, bring it into your school, everything we do in life is contagious. So when you bring in that bright energy into your class in the morning, you see that the way you talk to the students and your colleague will be different, and by default they rub off them and you have a really fantastic day. So things to try. Again, you can try rock climbing. I don't know if for those of us that cannot get it in the regions or the areas that we're in, yoga is very good. It's very therapeutic. It's good. It lifts you up. Or better still, go online, YouTube. Again, just type, is it intense workout or light workout, beginner? You can start with beginner. Go on YouTube, 10 minutes workout every morning or every evening. When you wake up, just get it done before you go to work. It would definitely not take anything away from you, but I can guarantee you that it would add something to you. Once you try all of these things within this week, we can revisit it next week and see. So once you've done all of this, once you've asked your close people that you trust their opinion, you've asked them what they think of you, and they've told you what they think your strengths and your weaknesses are. You've already done the number one today, which is the list, your strength and your weakness list that you have now put together, that I know. So the next thing that you do after this class is to ask these people what your strength and your weaknesses are. Again, record the information, their response to you, record them, write them down. And then you go within the week, try out one or two things of all the lists that we've put out there. Is it your, swimming or rock climbing or music, painting, drawing? Is it your budget? Draw up a budget today. See if it works. Go online, Google. let's see some investment platform that are there that are easy to plug into. Once you've done all of these things and then you've written them down now, you would not do your self evaluation. And in order to be able to do the self evaluation to identify your uh, possible strengths and weaknesses, you ask yourself, did you enjoy this exercise? The singing that you are going to go and do when you're done, ask yourself a straight question. Did I enjoy that? What did I like about it? What did I not like about it? Is there something you would, is this something that you would want to keep doing and get better at? Because sometimes these things we may not be great at it. The question is, did we like it? Because if you like something, it means that you can improve in it. Because if you like it, you will keep doing it, and if you keep doing it, you will definitely improve in it. You know, what are the good things that others do that I don't like doing and why. Again, once you've checked all of these things out, you would now know that, okay, yeah, I thought I didn't like that. Your list that you put down, the first list that you've done, your strength and weakness, they might change once you've gone to try out these new things. So, and it's okay for them to change, because sometimes what we think our weaknesses are things that we've actually not explored. They are things that we've not tried out. So it's okay if when you finish this exercise, you come back to say, oh well, I'm actually good at this. I think I'd have strength in this. And these are areas that I have encountered difficulties. And then if you like something and you notice that I really like this thing, but it is hard. So what you now need to figure out is, how do I motivate myself so I can continue? What are the things that I need to do? Do I need to spend more time reading and learning about this thing in order to be able to motivate me to do it? And then ask yourself another very important question. What am I not good at? All of these things that I've tried out, which of them was a no, 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 no for me? Once you have all of that done now, next week we will be able to revise and be able to see what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And all of this exercise, what it does for you is it genuinely helps you to become more self-aware. It helps you to now know the things that you are good at, the things that you're not good at, the things that you can be better at, the things that you should spend energy developing yourself. Because once you understand, once you're self aware and you're able to develop it, it makes your life easier. Because the things that you not know that you are not good at, you are able to just find people who are good at that, and maybe do trade by barter. So, say you were looking to do the online classes, you want to start up a new teaching group where you're able to teach people to make side money off it, to supplement your income, your income that you're currently on. And you know that you're good at staying in front of the camera, but you're not good at the technical side of things. You're not good at doing the presentation slides, and you've identified this. Then you can now meet with your colleague who might be just good at that, and then you come together and form a partnership and be able to now still carry out this. So being self-aware helps you to know that, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can do the other, but I cannot do this, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. And then the next question would be, who do I know that knows how to do this? Or how do I find people that knows how to do this? And one good place to find people that know how to do stuff is actually on LinkedIn. Because when you go on LinkedIn, people tell you what they can do and what they cannot do. You chat with them on LinkedIn, and then you'll be amazed how many of these people are just willing to help, how many of these people are willing to partner with you, how many of these people are also looking for the likes of you who have strengths in areas that you have strength in, and then you're able to collaborate together and see what you build from there. So humility is another thing, because it's one thing to know who you are, what you're good at, and it's another thing to have humility, to be humbled about it, to go, yeah, I know how to do this, but I'm not loud about it. For me, humility is the most beautiful word in the dictionary. Yeah, I just think it's good when you see people who are actually geniuses, but they are very humble about it. So humility is about being yeah, so we'll go to the next slide anyway. So goals. What we are going to do going forward, what I would encourage everybody to do going forward. Now that you have identified your strengths and your weaknesses, or you now know how to go about it, you've taken the first step now in this class. So you are going to take the second and the third step. Once you have that done, the next logical thing to do is, how do we improve our self-awareness? You know, we know the basics now. How do we constantly grow and be self-aware? Because you have to practice these things. Anything you do in life, you have to keep doing them and keep growing and keep striving at it. Growth is a constant thing. Change is a constant thing. You must have a growth mindset. It's very vital to have growth mindset, especially knowing that you're a teacher, because as a teacher you are responsible for creating the next generation, the next leaders of the next generation. So if you don't know, you can't give what you don't have. So if you're not constantly learning, you are not able to teach the young persons that are in your classroom. Because if you only know something, if you only know the basic of something, that's as far as you can give, because you can only give what you have. So if you only know how to do something to a certain level and that's what you're given, you have just limited those students, because it's what you've taught them that they know. But if you are constantly learning, you're constantly growing, they too, by default, will constantly learn and grow, because you're coming every week to give them new information, to give them advanced information. I know that there are curriculums that are set that, schools must follow. But in that, there is also a room. You're not changing the rules, you are bending the rules to suit our society, what's happening in the world today. Things have not changed. What probably the curriculum that had worked in the last 10, 15 years may not work after post COVID, because everything has changed now. So if you know that, and you are beginning to look at ways to also develop yourself, be current with what's trending, be current with what's happening in the world, so that way you're able to pass this information down to these students, and they're growing as you're growing. So it is very, very essential and vital for teachers to constantly learn and grow. So what would help you to do some of this, to develop your self-awareness? The first thing you would do is keep a journal. So if you don't already keep it, if you already keep a journal, fantastic, well done. But if you don't already have one, go get one. Get a journal today, get a journal tomorrow, because it will help you improve your self-awareness. Spend 10 to 20 minutes each day writing down your thoughts. Anything. It could be anything. It could be after this class now, if you have a journal, what came to mind? What did you learn from this? What are the skills that you've learned from this now that you think you can implement going forward when school comes back on, or even before school come back on? What has hit your mind now? What are the things that you can do now? You can speak to your principal or your director in the school about that. Oh, I think we can do this now. I think we can begin to do this online for our student, or I think we should change this curriculum or infuse this into it now, that it would help these young persons. What are these things? Write all your thoughts down, because every great idea starts from a thought. Every great idea, every great invention starts from, an idea, and an idea starts from a thought. So you can begin to think, even outside the student now, as teachers, what are the things that you think now that, okay, maybe if I'm doing this and other teachers are doing this in my school or in Nigeria or whatever part of the world you're plugged in from today, Ghana, anywhere in the world, if we start to do this in teachers, or should we set up a teachers association if we don't already have? What are the things that we can collectively do that will enable us be better teachers and impact on our students, better than we already do? All of these thoughts, write it down every single day. Nothing is stupid. Just keep writing, and it would all help you become more self-aware, because it would also help you know how fast you can think, what your thoughts are. It will help you to know what your strengths are as well, and what you as you progress, you would as you keep doing this, you would your self-awareness would be much more improved, and you would now start to even be conscious of other people around you. So another thing that you have to do is slow down. You know, slow down. Anger is real. People get angry, and when people are angry, people do things that they are not supposed to do. So, in order to help you manage your anger, when you experience anger or other strong emotions, slow down. You slow down, you examine why. You know, for me, it is very, very vital to, take a pause. So what works for me is I am of the opinion that it can only get better from here. So no matter what it is that it's happening, I tell myself, oh wow, this has happened. Franzi, breathe. I take a breather and then I go, okay, what's the worst that could happen after this? Okay, it can only get better from here. When you have that attitude of it can only get better from here, no matter what the situation is, you will better be able to manage not just your emotions, but how you react and how your and how your actions would enable other people to react. I always tell people, you're not responsible for other people's actions, but you are responsible for how you react to things. So remember that no matter what situation, you can always choose how you react to it. Because sometimes when someone does something, it's how you react that will then bring a comeback. So say someone walked around you and accidentally stepped on you or poured water on your paperwork, or and then you're going, it's how you react. You might go, why would you do this? So the way you say that, why would you do this, might come back, they might come back with, oh, well, sorry. Or the way you go, oh, you just poured water on my book, or you just stepped on me, would actually, no matter no matter what the situation is, it would intend to always calm it. Their comeback would always be polite. So try it. When something happens, if you're upset, it's okay to be upset, but always take a breather. Take a walk, pull away from the situation, see it from a third person's perspective. Always try and remove yourself from a situation and then look at it from a third person's perspective. Because when you begin to do that, your the reaction will start to be different. Because sometimes when people do things, we don't know what the backlog is. We don't know what the backstory is. We don't know why that person is acting the way they are acting. But we only see how they act and we react to that. But when you pause for a minute and wonder, why has this person acted this way? It will help you to begin to put the puzzles together, because by the time you're even spending time to want to really know why the person did what they have done, it helps you, it calms you down, because you've not gone into the creative mode, you've gone into the thinking mode, you've gone into the being selfless mode. You are now considering the other person. You are now wondering, okay, maybe this person is having a bad day, that's why they must have done this. What can I do to help them? That automatically comes in, especially being a teacher. So some students, you don't know what happened this morning before they came to class. So it's you, they might just come in and not even say hello. Instead of attacking them, going from an attack perspective, why don't you the first to say, how are you? Are you okay? Sometimes that does a lot of things. Sometimes just saying to a student that, oh, you're beautiful, your hair is beautiful today, or your uniform is so clean, boost their confidence. Or, oh, I like the way you wrote your English essay. Or, oh, you've improved in your maths. Or, oh, you're actually good, you can actually improve in this. How you communicate to them, even when you're giving them criticism, being able to constructively criticize them helps. It helps build a young person's confidence. And with you as teachers, you have a lot of role to play in building your students' confidence, especially the primary schools and the secondary, because this is the period of their life that they would go through the transition of becoming an adult in secondary. Your secondary school, that is a phase in everyone's life where you develop yourself as a person. So if you don't have the right teacher, if these young persons don't have you helping them, supporting them, making sure that their self-confidence, it's not being dropped, making sure that you're doing your part to constantly help them grow. We are not all Every young person is not good at everything. There are things that they are good at. There are things that they could be good at, but they don't even know that they are good at it, because people's learning pattern is different. I'm sure as teachers you would know there are some students that learn really fast, and then there are some that learn slow. There are some students that are good in some subjects and they are not good in other subjects. So because they are not good in all the subject does not mean that you don't acknowledge the subject that they are good at. Because if you're able to tell them, oh, you're very, very good at English and you can be good at maths too, you just have to try XYZ in order to improve, that would affect that young person's life positively and they would never forget you. So what you say to your students matters a lot, because you're not just their teachers, you are their mentor, you're like their big brother, their big sister. They look up to you. They spend more time with you than they spend at home, because they come to school in the morning, they leave later in the afternoon, or in some cases in the evening, because some of them will have extra lessons. So they actually spend more time with you. So it's your responsibility to help them build their life. It's also your responsibility to help them to be, self-aware of who they are, what they can do, and how they can go about it. And the only way that you can do that is when you are already self-aware. Is when you already know what you're good at and how to develop. That's when you are able to also pass this information on to the younger persons. So thank you guys very much. There are room for questions now. So throw the questions in and then we'll answer as many as we can. And for next week, we would be doing self-regulation, emotional self-regulation. It refers to the ability to manage disruptive emotions and impulses. It involves controlling one's behavior, emotions, and thoughts in long-term growth. So just a bit about who I am. My name is Brandy Lawrence. I am the founder of Youth Care Global. At Youth Care Global, we are dedicated to providing a safe haven for young persons, where we focus on their skills development in the areas of psychosocial and emotional intelligence. We're in partnership with Coderina Education and Technology Foundation. So, personally, I am coming from a project management background, and it allows me to look beyond the obvious and create high energy and engaging life skills program to put even the most nervous of young person at ease. I'm specialized in identifying opportunities where others see problem and help create solutions by equipping young people with the life skills and tools and confidence needed to implement the solution, and most importantly, self-value. Because that's core for me. When you value yourself, you are able to value other people. So thank you so very much. I would thank you so very much. So if we go through and just look at some of the questions that were here. So any questions, guys? Okay. Yeah, let's have a look. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Blessing. Okay. Okay, so next week we would be working on, I'll tell you in a moment. So yeah, so next week we'll be working on self-regulation, emotional self-regulation, you know. We will be looking at the ability or developing our ability to manage emotions and impulses, you know. We would be learning how to control our behaviors, our emotions and our thoughts, and how to, you know, pursue long-term goals and implement them. So these are the things we will be looking at next week. Okay, so Destiny, what you do first is you identify why, what gets that young person take. So what I've also learned, even as a young person, sometimes when we see young people behaving a certain way, we just assume that, oh, that's who they are or that's how they want to be. But in order to solve their problem, we need to first of all identify why. So Destiny, for me, I'll be encouraging you to interact with that young person one on one. So not where other students are, but have a one-on-one conversation with that person. Just some young persons just want to be heard. You know, start from how you know, sit down with them and tell the young person that you really care about them and you want to understand why they are the way they are, you know. And if you actually spend time with this young person and listen, and most importantly encourage the person, because when someone is acting in a not so nice way and you are constantly saying you're a good person, you're a great person, eventually with those encouragement it would then start to make them want to act good, you know. So that's what I would do, is first identify why they are the way they are, and then look at ways that we can help work together with that young person and see how the young person can improve. Yeah, you could actually top. You could actually do a lie detective text, you know, if you wanted to as well, and you could read more about it. I think it's something that you that grows on you. It's something that you just keep observing around you, knowing that we're all different. So people react the way they want to react. How you react to it is entirely your responsibility. Once you take notes, especially keeping a journal, so whatever you do, when you flare up or something happened and you reacted a certain way, take time out, write it down and evaluate. Ask yourself why you reacted the way you reacted. When you constantly do that, and then don't beat yourself up if you reacted in a not so nice way. It's okay that you've reacted that way, but then start to think, when this happens next time, how should I react to it? You know, once you start to think like that, how can I not react the way I've reacted? That actually helped, because the first thing is identifying when something happened that you have acted a certain way. Once you can identify that and acknowledge it, it's it's very very important, because then you've done the bigger chunk of the work. Now changing it or improving is not easy, because you already have identified that it's not. And the more you do it, the more you grow. You know, sometimes something that might be our weakness today may not necessarily be our weakness tomorrow. So any further question? Let's see if we can get some more. All right then. So thank you so much. Uh please be here next week so we can continue this amazing training. Thanks so much, Coderina, for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. How can I how can a multi-talented person stay focused? Okay, so Kate, what you need to do is, it's okay to have all of these things. I'm multi-talented as well, so it's very challenging to pick one thing. But if you can pick one thing at a time, it's fantastic. You just take it. Okay, I know how to do all of these things. It's beautiful. I don't believe in jack of all trade, masters of none. I believe in, if you have all of these talents, you break them down and go, okay, set a goal for yourself. So for the next 6 months, or for the next 3 months, or for the next 1 year, I'm going to focus on this aspect of my talent and develop it. So you do that, you focus on it, you develop it. Once it's good and you're not known for it, you can now look at the other aspects and do it. So when you break it down like that and do it, and some of these things might even complement each other. So you look at ways that they can complement each other, and then you just move forward. And I'm sure if you do that, it would help. You can stay focused by setting goals. Say, this is what I'm gonna do, this is how I'm gonna do it, and then focus on it. And you should be able to do it. Thank you, Kate. Are there other questions? All right then. So if that's all the questions, we'll see you next week. Thank you so very much.